Howdy y'all, howdy Kodiak, how's it going? Welcome to Ben's Brick Designs. I'm Ben, nice to see you, happy Thursday. I hate to call an audible on the stream tonight, but Beth is not feeling well. She's not feeling well enough to that she can sit in front of a computer for 2 hours to build something. So while she is convalescing, we're free to do kind of whatever. So I'm gonna start by opening this beer. Actually, I'm gonna wait for about a minute for the algorithm to realize that I'm not doing anything unforetold. But in the meantime, I'm gonna take apart some things and we're gonna decide what we can do tonight. So I'm gonna wait for the chat to fill up a little bit, which may or may not happen tonight. So yeah, we were gonna do this. So I'll switch over to the build camera. We were gonna do this. So we'll do this on Sunday. We were gonna build these together and talk about things. But yeah, she's got some stomach issues. Her head kind of hurts a little bit. Everybody in the house is always deathly afraid of getting COVID. So while we do have negative tests, I don't want to push it if she's not feeling well. So we'll do this on Sunday. That hopefully will also allow, I know that viewer of the channel Walter and his daughter Mariana might like to watch if Beth's on, so that might be good too. So we'll do that. The other thing is I don't have a whole lot of backlog to build. The only thing I have really is I have another gift with purchase that I was holding on to for a 500 subscriber special or something, maybe 100 follower on Twitch giveaway. We'll do that. I also have this. Hello, it's Peaked. How's it going? It's yeah. I mean, this is Lego Star Wars. What you see in the lower right-hand part of the screen are all microfighters that I've designed and built over the years. So they should show up there. This is a set that I'm kind of hanging on to because it was like a $40 Target set, but it's going sealed for like $120 now. So I may just hang on to this and use it to sell or trade, right? So I don't want to really crack into that. The other set I have, and I kind of feel bad about it. But we could also build this tonight. The mosaic. The Iron Man mosaic. Now this I got for Christmas from my family. And I think mostly my son. And I told him I'd build with him. But this is what I have left to build. I have no backlog of sets. So so we can do that. Or I could get into studio and we could work on the stadium a little more. I could design a microfighter. We've got a list of microfighters I could work on. So first is we're going to open this Love Street. And we're going to sit here and chat about it for a hot second. These are some sets I can take apart. I don't have a need to have these together anymore. This was a mock that I built. It was a farmer's market stand to sell bars of soap. It was called Big Hand Soap. And I think the parts that we got were the bananas, so I used them as a giant hand. And this had more poles and a tent on it. It had a sign that I made called Big Hand Soap. I think I still have it over here. So I did a logo. Big Hand Soap. So it was like a little farmer's market. And I put Beth and I in it, kind of thing. It's like a little stand, right? It sold bespoke handmade bars of soap. Also, if you haven't seen on Instagram / flicker / whatever. I got the figure in for the Enterprise. So here's your Enterprise microfighter with that sweet custom Kirk figure right there. That Kirk figure is from, let me get this right, penzora.co.uk. I basically found it was an Etsy shop, but they do have a website too. So I think we talked about this a little bit last time, but I didn't have the figure already. So there you go. There's your official Kirk Enterprise microfighter. So there you go. So this is go on the shelf. Hopefully it will also be displayed at the convention this June. And that will be so far the second non-Star Wars microfighter that I've got done. Everything else is Star Wars. Oh, okay, so yeah, I'll wait for a few more people to jump in and see what they want to do. So this is a set that I just got on a whim. Everybody gets this one. It comes with this kind of snazzy robot figure. I think everybody got it because of the robot figure. If this will focus. Nope, not gonna focus. All right, you're not working with me tonight. Cool, there we go. It's got kind of a classic space logo on his chest there. It's got a pretty cool print. Just the torso print though, no arm prints or leg prints or anything like that. Nothing really special about this set, really, other than the figure. Some kind of metalish cones there. Those are kind of cool. So yeah. So how's everybody's week? It is chilly here in Austin. Right now it's hang on one second. So yeah. Actually, let's just go ahead and start the, I'll do this later. Let's go ahead and start the mosaic. I can take these apart at another time. But if at some point during the process of doing the mosaic, you'd rather watch some studio design stuff, I'm okay with that too. Just let me know. Let me pull it up and show you where we're at. I don't think I did any more work really on it, but music brought to you by Pretzel. This is the lo-fi channel. You should see the songs coming up in the chat. If you don't, let me know. Should have the artist and everything. So this is where we left the small stadium, right? And I have a tour of the stadium tomorrow. I'll be going to check out hopefully some areas that I can measure and get some information about colors and things. Look at some of the other areas of the building that I'm just not familiar with. Also, we can make a smaller version of this and then hopefully make a bigger version. So if you weren't around for the last time we worked on this, all the seats are different colored green, but they're all kind of, it looks like the sections are all even different kind of themed greens. So that's another thing I was going to talk to them about tomorrow. It looks like some of these are darker. Some of them have more like lighter green in them. Some have brown and maybe even some tan in them by the looks of it, just to kind of give the look of it being a foliage of some kind. And I'd like to maybe hopefully get a look at the upper level of the kind of the club section, to get an idea of what that's all about, that kind of thing. And again, I'm not really sure how to handle, I don't think I ever came to a decision on how to handle the street level being higher than the entry level being higher than the field. So that's still going to be an issue that we have to figure out. But that's the smaller version. And then the larger, I almost said the adult version, the larger version again, and I'm hoping to get some of these pieces in lug bulk. But here's your larger version, and this is just one section of the stands. And each of these cheese wedges, these 1x1 cheese wedges, is a seat. So the idea is there's 20,000 seats, gonna need 20,000 cheese wedges. So that's your minimum. It's gonna be a lot. So you figure there's 3 colors, you need 7,000 of each, probably more of the dark green since they're spelling out some stuff here, but that's gonna run you a little bit. So 7,000 times 1, 2, 3. So each group of cheese wedges will probably be between 50 and $50 and $100, maybe more, $150. So yeah, so that's the big thing. The next, I guess we can do a little housekeeping bit too. The next ship that I think I want to build in terms of, I had this set aside and I'm really down on myself right now because I forgot what I wanted to build. So I just figured out a good, it's not for nothing, but a good figure for this J-type star skiff, which is just a small ship that Anakin piloted for a hot second in Clone Wars. But there's a good outfit. I can finally find a good outfit for Anakin to use. Just get his head, but put it on this like Nubian or Naboo guard or Naboo something. It comes in that small speeder, that attack speeder, the newer version. So you do that. That's pretty small, probably pretty basic. I did find a Death Star microfighter that looked really good on Instagram the other day. So probably do that, but it requires a lot of 1x2 jumper plates that I have to order. Yeah, I can't remember what I decided I wanted to do. I think I had said the it started with a P and now I can't remember. Not the Profundity, Pinnock, not the Pelta. The Pelta is probably going to, Providence class. So Providence class, what's up, Baron Bezab, you Russian bot, you. So probably this one, if I can get a spider head. So keep on the lookout for spider heads for Admiral Trench. Or I could just put a droid in here or something. So either way. So yeah, so we can do some of that. But let's go ahead and do some building, shall we? So let's get back to the build camera. Now, I haven't done one of these mosaics ever. So this is my first mosaic. Star Wars, Beatles, Warhol, doesn't matter. I haven't done one before, so this will be the first one. Now, they're not 1x1 tiles, they're 1x1 round plates. So they're the studs, right? So these will be easier to take apart. It's just a matter of putting them together in the first place. So let's crack this guy open. It's already dusty. And go from there, shall we? Hope everyone's having a lovely Thursday. Art, hey Brad. Yeah, Brad, we were gonna do, as explained earlier in the stream, all of 10 minutes ago, Beth isn't feeling well, so we're going to postpone the Brickheadz Bride and Groom until Sunday. And this is the only other set that I have that's not open. So I was going to save it to work on with my son, since he gave it to me. But, yeah, so this is it. It's either this or sort or take apart stuff or do some microfighter design stuff. So, 3D. All right, so as you can see, this comes with a lot of bags of dots, right? Not dots, but 1x1 rounds. So this is your packaging. Comes with a nice thick booklet. It's going to be a lot of numbered. It's going to be paint by number stuff, and it's going to be in sections. So, and then you can pick which one you want. So you're not putting it together en masse. You're putting it together in tiny little sections, one at a time, right? So it makes it a little easier to do. You could probably, once you get the base built, you could probably just go off the cover and just be like, I could probably figure that out. I don't know if anyone's done that before, but I don't know what this phone thing is. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever opened one of these boxes even. Is this music you can listen to while you do it? So this is going to be all these plates. Now this is going to be pretty cool. If you ever wanted to part these out, they come with these great Technic base plates for lack of a better term. They're almost like Mills plates. They would be perfect for micro scale. In fact, if you look at the micro scale that I've done, this is the exact size. Just 16 by 16, I think. Yeah, so 16 by 16 already has the holes in the side. All it needs is tiles on top for sidewalks and whatnot. You can listen to a bad podcast about someone that helped make the Iron Man movie. Oh, that doesn't sound fun. Yeah, what is that? There's not like a... Oh, listen, build, relax. Well, let's find out. My phone wasn't charging anyway. Where's my QR scanner? Quality content, I'm telling you. Oh, it's an hour 30. I don't think I can listen to it on this stream. I probably get dinged for that. Huh, yeah, it doesn't really say what it is. I'm going to take your word for it. Listen to a bad podcast. I can listen to a bad podcast anytime I want. It's called my own. So... Speaking of podcasts, Beth and I should be starting up again on our podcast. Starting soon, hopefully. I haven't given her an ultimatum, but I've kind of given her an ultimatum. It's like, look, this was your idea. All right, cool. See you in a bit, Brad. Not going anywhere. Again, for those of you here expecting to see Beth and I build some Brickheadz, I do apologize. So we're just going to sit here and drink beer and do Iron Man Mosaic. We've got so much beer and spirits left from our wedding. We were able to give away the food. There's a Buy Nothing group here in... So here's some information about Iron Man. Facebook group in our neighborhood that's like a... Before you try to sell it or just throw it away or give it away to Goodwill, see if anybody in your neighborhood wants it, right? And so yeah, we had all this food and I was like, does anybody want this? And they said, sure. All right, so we're just gonna do this one to start. I think this is easy enough. I don't think the other two are much different. There's the Hulkbuster and then a different looking, it's a little more angular. I think it's like the Mark 1, the Mark 3, the Mark 5, and then the Hulkbuster. So let's just do this one. So right off the bat, you are putting these on, so it doesn't really matter how you put them together. So here's the instructions. You get all your plates together, and then you build your frame. So once the plates are all done, you build the frame around them. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Oh, it's got it right here. What is this? So we've got the Mark III, the Mark 85, 85th and final armor. Oh, this is the one where he fought Thanos in. So he's between 2009 when he was doing this and 2019, in 10 years, he built 85 suits of armor. I'm sure some of these are minor iterations, and if he's got that, you know, fabrication facility at the ready, he could probably just do any machining he wanted, and it wouldn't be that much. All right, so we're gonna get started. Probably gonna be pretty tedious, so we're gonna have to come up with some stuff to talk about. New episode of Boba Fett on Wednesday, so yesterday. The Globe is now out. The see, what I should have, and I don't, is a bunch of little tubs to sort all these in. So like, that would be number 1. Dark gray is going to be number 2. I'm going to try to have these kind of in order, and I don't think that's going to work. Get rid of this guy. Light gray is number 3. Dark blue. Look at all this lovely dark blue. Oh, just so much fun. Okay, white. Do some white. This is number 6. Pearl gold is number 7. That's probably enough room on that side. And then tan is number 8. Dark tan number 9. Nougat number 10. Welcome to the stream where I show you I know the names of the colors. Dark orange, red, dark red, brown, and dark brown. And as far as I can tell, there's a sand blue in here too before the dark blue. So 1, 2, 3, yeah, sand blue. All right. Cool. So we're gonna start with try to keep this mildly under control. So I'll try this in order of numbers. So we'll try black first. I don't know how this is gonna go, but here we go. I feel like this is the most mind-numbing of LEGO build techniques or build things I've ever done. So I feel like if you're really into paint by numbers or stuff that is very mindless, this is probably right up your alley. And I don't mean mindless as in dumb, just mindless as in you can shut your brain off and listen to some music, do some stuff. So we get this. I could probably lower. Try to lower this a little bit. And we'll zoom in a bit so you can kind of see what we're doing. Since I don't foresee anything needing to be really big here. So, the Book of Boba Fett is out. We're on the fourth episode came out yesterday. And people are still talking about the Vespa gang. The Mos Vespa gang. And, I feel like it's a bit harsh criticism about the shininess and mod quality of the teenagers with the modifications, the droid parts, and the shiny Vespa looking scooters and stuff. At first I was kind of like, what in the actual F is going on here? But the more I watched, the more I was okay with it. Somebody made the comment that it was the most least Star Wars thing Star Wars has done. And I felt like that was a bit of a gatekeepery comment. Like, I know what Star Wars is, and these creators who have been given permission to do this don't know what Star Wars is. But when you think about it, what have we seen from Star Wars in the past 40 years? We've seen one family and their struggles to rule the galaxy, or not rule the galaxy. And everything is kind of at the end of a war or during a war. And we really never saw, like, the average person and what they were doing, right? And everything was beaten down, and everything was grungy, and everything was dirty. We saw hints of it not being that, like Canto Bight, for example, which is sad because that's the only example I can think of. Coruscant, there's areas of Coruscant that were very shiny and new, and nobody seemed to complain about that. But for some reason, this backwards planet having a bunch of kids who want to eschew the aesthetic, everybody gets bent out of shape about. I think that's really interesting. And when you think about it, if everything around you is dark and gritty, wouldn't the rebellious thing to do be as shiny and colorful as possible? So it's not like they're doing it just because, but maybe they're actively rebelling against something. You know, Tatooine is a boring, dry desert, tan place. It's a very tan place. So it just makes sense to me that it's like that. But again, I know it's hard to say. Yeah, it's a thing. I'm not saying it's my favorite thing, but I don't think it's like the worst thing that's happened, either in this show or in Star Wars altogether. I think it's fine. Oh, that's going to be down here. Make sure to line these up right. Suck, I need like 3 more. I like how everyone was like, yeah, I guess those Boston Dynamics dogs were kind of weird, but I'm not going to go online and complain about the real worldness of Earth robots being shown in Star Wars, but those punk kids and their shiny bikes, they're also complaining about the slowness of the chase scene between the mods and the major domo in that speeder. Hey, Brad, welcome back. And all I could think to say was, it felt like old school Star Wars, or like this is the most un-Star Warsy thing. And I'm like, this is the one thing that I felt like was kind of Star Warsy, right? The speeders were actual cars and bikes that were, you know, that they were driving along and they like painted out the wheels underneath. That felt very Star Wars to me, right? Felt like Luke going into Mos Eisley the first time. It's like, you know, that's a car, you know? Hey, Macro, how's it going? All right, so now the danger is going to be the 1.7 billion dark blue things. We're going to start out with a lot because it's going to be a lot. I don't think there was much CG in that. That's the thing. I think it was all practical. I think there was one bit that was CG, and that was when that one guy, and he actually has a name, and I forget what it is, goes up on the side of the building and comes back down. That was CG. But I think like them just driving around the streets, all practical. I almost want to say 100% practical. What they paint out underneath it, which is why it felt like it was going slow, because it wasn't Michael Bay CG car chase explosion. It was like, we've got this small dusty street and we've got these actual vehicles that can only go so fast, and we're just going to do that. So, you know, as soon as I felt like that's what was going on, I'm like, yeah, I'm cool with it. But again, that's not, I'm sure it's not for everybody. It's going well. It's gouging well. Speaking of gouging, I've been trying to, so I think I'm resigned to the fact that I want to trade my Mac Anthem and my Apocalypseburg and like $150 for an AT-AT, if I can find one. Now the problem is, it's sold out on LEGO. I don't think my store has one, and I can't trade anything to my store. The other downside is that even used, I could probably get $450, maybe even $500 for the Apocalypseburg. I'm gonna say $480. I can't find any buyers for the Mac Anthem, because the Mac Anthem is essentially a giant Technic set with a special tile and a little pearl gold dog on the front for the Mac. So together I could probably get about $600 for those. But I'd have to find somebody who really wants that Mac Anthem. And so far, I haven't been able to find anybody. Now, I could just sell it on eBay, but I don't think I would get much for it. Which is fine. Like, I even asked my the Bricks and Minifigs, even if they had an AT-AT, and they're like, nah, we don't have one. I'm like, okay. Would you buy these two sets? And then I never heard back, so... So it's either wait till I can get a trade from somebody for both of those things, which I think almost is not going to happen, or we do have a used Lego store, Bricks and Minifigs. We used to have a couple more. We have there's a place called Anna's Toy Depot. I think they're still open, but I think they moved. How far over does this go? It goes 3 over. And then the Bricks and Minifigs, and I think that's it. There's another like used toy store, but I don't think they would give me anything for it. I could ask them. The thing is, you'd get more with trade than you would cash at any. I mean, this goes back to comics and records and cards of any kind. If you go in and say, could I get, you know, how much for cash? They say, or trade, they say 150, and then for cash, they say 80. And you're like, well, that doesn't seem fair. because they can resell it for 150. And then you're stuck with your cheese in the wind. So I was hoping that they would have an AT-AT. And then I could say, okay, well, I got these 2 sets. Let me trade this in. And I know it's not the same amount, but let me also give you 150 bucks. But I haven't heard. And I was kind of hoping one of my lug people might have an extra copy, because some people do that. Some people will buy 2 of those big things. There's a couple Facebook Marketplace listings for it. Nothing in OfferUp. But the Facebook Marketplace ones are like $1,100. I'm like, man, I'm just gonna wait till LEGO has it again. One of my lug people also has a UCS B wing that he's going to hold for me, so I'm going to get that too. And also the globe is out, so I mean there's a couple things I'm getting. Yeah, it'll be back in stock soon. I get this plan and I get itchy about it, and I'm like, I've got to figure it out now. Like, I even put it up on LEGO Marketplace on Reddit, and then the Just Lego Things Discord, and like nothing. Like, everyone's like, how much do you want for the Apocalypse Berg? And I'm like, $450, and then I didn't hear back. So, I mean, other than collecting dust for a couple years, it's just sat there. It's got all its figures. I got the instruction books for it. Yeah, the globe's sweet. The globe is really cool. I think that's going to be a lot of fun figuring out or looking at the different techniques to get it globe shaped. Somebody told me your thumbs wear out doing these, so I'm going to try to switch hands every once in a while. So yeah, it is chilly here right now. It is a balmy, like 28 degrees. There's also a child abduction emergency in Buda. So let's see, right now it says it's 29. And I got a package that's 8 stops away. So the craziness, oh, it feels like it's 28. It's actually 33. I ordered, am I getting it day one? I'm going to try. I generally try to get things. I don't know that I'll go to the store to get it, but I'll at least order it. Because it doesn't matter if I get it at the store. The only reason I would get something at the store anymore is because I'm also streaming putting it together, but I'm not an RLFM, and there's 2 other people like in my city that do day of builds and streams and stuff, and I'm just like, you guys can have it. And the only real reason I would go to the store is to meet my other lug people, and we can't really do anything because everybody's wearing masks, and it's not like we can go to lunch afterwards or something. So I'll get it online or something, and then just build it whenever it gets here. I'm patient. Josh builds stuff and Emosaurus. Both are in Austin. Emosaurus' channel is huge. It used to be her husband's, and he would do stop motion animation. He built up a following of several thousand, and then stopped for a while, and then she picked it back up to do reviews, and then it kind of blew up. 11 is dark orange, so I'm going to try to do dark orange. So she's got quite a following. And then Josh Builds Stuff is somebody who I think, I hate to use the word funnily. Funny enough. Oh, that wasn't nearly a big enough slit. He did a review of a microfighter that I had done, the Razor Crest. And somebody linked it to me. They're like, hey, this dude did a video review of your microfighter. And I was like, what? That's super cool. I think I'm only going to need like a handful of these. So I went and checked it out. I was like, hey, that's sweet. And he was like, it was a glowing review. It's like, this is really good. It's a little weak on the engines. It's kind of, it's not super swooshable. It's not very stable, but it's, the design's good and blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, hey, man, thanks. For the review. Appreciate the vote of confidence on that. And did I miss? No, there's going to be a different color there. Okay. So I started watching his stuff kind of like from day one. Right after that, I was like, oh, this guy's very, very entertaining. Yeah, he did. That was pretty funny because he actually said in the video, he's like, if you're watching, I almost called you or messaged you to see if I could borrow yours because I couldn't find it. I'm like, I would have run it up to you, buddy. But yeah, so he did that. And then ever since then, man, his videos are just great. Like, they're very entertaining. They're very well written. But then during the course of watching him, I found out he lived in Texas, just because some of the comments he made. I was like, oh, where in Texas are you? He's like, oh, this little suburb of Austin. I'm like, oh, what suburb of Austin? He's like, oh, it's Round Rock. I'm like, oh, where in Round Rock? Because I find out he's like just on the other side of the tollway from me, probably about 10 minutes away. I'm like, that is really weird, man. Did that even open it? He does put a lot of time into them, and that's one of the reasons I will never be a good YouTuber, because I don't have the patience to do videos. Like, streaming is easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Streaming is, once you get it all set up, you sit down, you hit thing, you go. And that's it. The downside is you have to be able to talk for an hour or 3 hours or whatever. So that is a downside, but the upside is there's no, like, I don't have to go back and edit. I don't have to go back and like come up with a ton of content or anything like that. It's just, I can design, I can chat. Yeah, so it's great. 10 is, all right, so tan, dark tan, nougat. I need nougat. His videos are very, very entertaining, and the fact that he doesn't have like thousands and thousands of subscribers right now is kind of... So everybody go check out Josh Builds Stuff. I'm going to see if I can find his channel and link it in here. I'm sure everybody's seen it already. And if you're just joining us, don't autoplay, don't autoplay. If you're just joining me, Beth is not joining us tonight because she is not feeling well. So we will be doing hopefully if she's feeling better by then, we'll be doing the bride and groom Brickheadz on Sunday. So stay tuned. She says she's sorry from the other room. Put me in a pickle, man. I had to come up with something at the last minute. Couldn't be bothered to change a thumbnail or anything. It's fine. It's just, hobby streaming. No big. But yeah, so then the other one is Emosaurus, and she's just got, I'm not meaning to be disparaging when I say this, but her husband really built up that channel a long time ago, and so she had like, and I don't know how much work she did in the first part to get, no apologies, feel better, says Kodiak.
Thank you.
But she had a built-in like fan base. So starting off with the reviews, and I don't know how many, I didn't go back and watch any of the older. See, this is where I run into trouble. The older videos, but she, you know, she does reviews and stuff and automatically has, oh, well, there's one down. Automatically has 10,000 subscribers, viewers, so it's a little like, hey, instant fame. Yeah. I would much rather just kind of show up to a stream and be like, all right, let's do this. Versus, I don't know. Some of the editing I think sounds fun, and I watch some people's videos, and it looks like it'd be a lot of fun to do certain things. And there's a couple older channels, like Friends of Butt Chops, for instance. And I forget the dude's name, but he's like a master of editing. So one down, one over here. And you kind of want to like, it's like, I want to learn how to do that. But at the same time, I'm like, do I want the skill of editing, or do I want the time spent like building and designing? So that's kind of where it comes down to for me. And I'm kind of okay with that. You know, live stream Lego doesn't, I'm never going to get 1 million subscribers doing this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's okay. I feel like Stuart Smalley, and that's okay. I also like kind of the instant feedback, like chatting with people, versus kind of, because if I were to like edit a video and upload it, I'd be sitting there waiting for comments to come in all day. That's just who I am, and it's a terrible habit and personal trait, but that's what I would be doing. And I would take every negative comment to heart. Because I'm an artist. And as an artist, I feel everything. Cameras and video and just no time to do it. Yup. I feel you. Alright, I think that's all done. 2 of these guys left. Okay, so what's next? Just pearl gold. It's all gold from here on out. Right now I'm doing my laundry and cleaning up work all day, so when I have time to relax, I keep up with house chores. Yeah, I do that too, and Beth just has no idea what's wrong with me. Like, oh, sweet, I've got some downtime. I'm going to vacuum. And she's like, what? I'm like, well, I mean, it has to get done, and I'm relaxed. It's just, this is the time to do it now. I don't have any other time to do it. Because I'm either doing this, or I'm doing work, or I'm doing stuff with the kids. For a while, it was wedding planning. Now that's done. I think I've only ever done like a couple produced videos, and they've been really short. And I might kind of go back and do some more of that for TikTok, but at the same time, I'm like, why? Why would I do that? There's so many other good TikTokers out there that I'm just like, I don't, whatever. I agree with you, Brad. It is very satisfying. That's true, Kodiak. I do like watching people's videos and going, oh, that's a neat trick. I'm going to learn how to do that. And then I figure out how to do it and then either completely forget or realize it's not a thing that I want to do again. Which is, you know, it's fine. It's like, well, I learned how to do it. I kind of find a new thing and then I just sit on that one thing for a very long time, like how to make good thumbnails. I only make one. I was watching a video about how people who do YouTube for a living make multiple thumbnails, and they just watch to see how the stats perform on each thumbnail, and then they will change the thumbnail to be the one that works the best, you know? And I'm like, oh God, I don't want to live that life. Or maybe I do, I don't know. I guess that would be better than like clocking in at a job, because you're clocking into a job that you probably really like doing. I put up my first TikTok and Instagram reels. TikTok. Did I see your reel? I need to follow you on TikTok too, but did I see your reel already? I feel like that's something I would have seen. Check my phone real quick. Nothing. Okay. Oh, Avs are playing again tonight. My Avs are on a win streak, yo. Very happy about that. Gone into some overtime games. Not real happy about that. So I was thinking of repurposing all those short videos that I did, because I did a bunch of short videos before there were YouTube shorts. So this is going to be the problem. All these little bags are going to leak out if I'm not careful. I made a bunch of like 2-3 minute videos, and then Lego shorts. YouTube shorts became a thing. I was like, dang it. All right, so that one's done. Next one. Oh, and then we're going to open an Ultra bag. Oh. Let's see, so these are, yeah, they're in here. I was saying something and I totally blanked what I was saying. Oh yeah, so I made a bunch of like 2-3 minute videos on like quick build. I called them quick build videos, and it was just here's you know, a quick time or a time lapse of me doing this model, and then a little backstory about either the ship itself or why I came up with it or the history of the Lego version of the set, blah blah blah. And then, you know, put that up. What's up, Glenn? Oh, okay, it's to the right here. Haha. So I don't need those just yet. I'll save you guys for later. Nom nom nom. All right, number 2. So I'm thinking, I think I still have like all the raw videos for those. I could just like repost them and kind of do a different, because they're kind of, the videos themselves are made for YouTube. There's like a nice intro and stuff and, you know, that kind of stuff. I think with a TikTok video, I could just like put it up there with a little voiceover and then kind of be done with it. So I might try to do that. I just don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, you missed earlier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Beth's not feeling well. So last minute audible is that I'm doing this now. So she will join us on Sunday. And we'll do that then. So, I mean, this is at very least groomy, because I'm still doing it. Yep, Iron Man. This was a Christmas present from a kid, and I told him we'd work on it together, and then I was like, this is the only set I have to build. So that's what I'm doing. So I started going back and watching the original Star Trek, speaking of Enterprises, since it's on Paramount Plus, and I can... Oh, pro tip, if you got a PS4, or I guess any kind of console, don't watch Paramount Plus on that console. The app is a piece of garbage. If you've got Prime and can watch it through Prime, do that. Because otherwise, the controls are very, very, very clunky. It makes it almost unwatchable. Like if you have to pause it to go to the bathroom or rewind it real quick because you missed something, you have to go to the next episode. You just have to back out, shut everything down, burn it to the ground, start over, watch a new show. Because it's just terrible. Anywho, so I started watching the original series because I realized I haven't watched it in a very long time. I keep telling everybody, I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen it. I mean, I was in high school when I watched it last, and that was in syndication. It was like on at 10 o'clock at night with like Barney Miller, and even then Barney Miller was reruns. So it was like I would watch Star Trek and Night Court and Barney Miller. Stay up late eating toasts and cocoa and stuff. Yeah, on Prime it's fine, but for whatever reason the Paramount Plus app itself on the PS4 is just abysmal. And every time I tell them about it, they're like, well, you know, do this or do that. I'm like, no other streaming app is this problematic. It's just yours. Why that? Why is that? Oh, I almost timed that really well. Any other dark blues? No? Okay. So, I'm only on like the 4th episode, but I realized that I forgot like the first 2 episodes. First of all, the first like 4 episodes are all played out of order. All right. 15 is dark brown. Oh, this one's kind of all over the place. So let's do dark brown first. And I forgot how out of order everything was. Now I know the first episode was the cage, not the menagerie. That's a common misconception. The menagerie is a 2-part episode later that references the cage because it sort of brings back some of the stuff that happened in the cage to be canon, I guess, or I don't know, whatever, you know. The pilot wasn't widely, the studio didn't like it. So they're like, well, come up, do one more, and then we'll see what we think. So they came up with another episode, which became episode 3. Called Charlie X. And after that, they're like, okay, we'll pick it up. But if you're watching it in order, it's basically the cage, and then Man Trap, and then Charlie X, which is weird because the first episode is Christopher Pike. It's not even Kirk, but Spock's in it. Spock is the only character that remains the same name to the next series or the next episode. So the next episode is Spock and Kirk, but or the 3rd episode that they end up airing, Bones isn't there. There's a different doctor. Sulu is there, but he's like a specialist. McCoy's there, but I don't know that they call him an engineer at this point. There's no Chekhov. Chekhov, I don't think, comes in until season 2, honestly. Spock is still there, but everyone's wearing weird outfits, and that like the terminology is really odd, and it's just really weird to watch. Some of the props from you can tell like some of the props from the pilot make their way into the first official episode, and it's kind of goofy. They were leaning into like it being very heavily naval. Like right off the bat, there was a lot of like procedural stuff I think they were trying to do. But boy, I'll tell you what, it was definitely made in the 60s. There's a lot of like, I'm sure what they felt was lampshaded misogyny that they were addressing. But I'm like, oh God, this is so cringy because it's now, you know, almost 50 years later. All right, I think that's all the dark brown. Right? Yes, all right, so now we'll do regular brown. We'll do Delta brown. We'll do Murphy brown. Oh no, we already did that. So we will do... I have this mosaic sitting here next to me because of a question earlier today. So Glenn, I must ask you, are you a person, because I know you have a large backlog of sets, are you a person who, 13 is what, dark red? Do you buy multiple sets and then build one and save one? And do you then save them to be sold later? Like, do you use the money from the sales of the ones that you got to buy new stuff later? So are you like rotating sales into buying new stuff all the time? Or do you spend a lot of your own money and not Lego sale money? Or do you just collect and hoard? Because you weren't on the last stream, but I was considering doing more of the... I'd like to let Lego's money work for me instead. Are you a person? Wait for it. Uh-oh. Oh, no, wait. Okay, well, I can still do this. I did dark brown, not regular brown. Oh, man. Is that 2 browns? The tale of 2 browns? Yeah, all right. I can go back and do that. You have sold none. Okay, that was my question. Because I'm thinking of trying to... I do not mind, and I'm fortunate that I'm in a position where I can buy a set, even an expensive one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I want to. Like I don't have to save up unless it's like a really like the AT-AT I'll probably have to save up for a couple months. Just because I can't personally take a hit of $800 on one paycheck. I could take a hit of a couple $100 on a few months of paychecks, but that's different. So what I'd like to start doing is saying, all right, well, what I'll start doing is, let's say I will buy, I mean, it could have been anything. I could have bought multiple Havoc Marauders or multiple Star Wars sets. Oh, the problems with the Star Wars sets is they are very popular and everyone gets one and they make a lot of them. So I think the other ones that you would probably need to look at buying multiple to make it worth your time later, I think would be Ideas sets or some of the creator sets. And for F's sake, open up. That may not have a very long life and there aren't a ton of them and you don't get them for the figures, right? So the Saturn V, Voltron, any of the cars really probably what I can think of. The the Statue of Liberty, things like that, maybe somewhere, stuff that's like more than 100 but less than 500, and hold on to it until it retires, and then just sell it at kind of whatever price it is. Not holding on to it forever, because I think there's probably diminishing returns on even very popular sets, but I think it's sort of a, you know, it goes up and then it goes down for a while and then it goes way up, but you have to have held on to it for 20 years. But I'd like to, it's like any other investment thing or almost like a real estate thing where you have to put a little up front to start the ball rolling. And I don't necessarily want to invest like, you know, I'm going to hold on to this until I retire, but surely if I buy 2 Saturn V's or 2 R2D2s, that in 2 years' time I could sell one of, you know, I'd still put one together and display it, but in a couple years' time I could sell one and at least get back what I made for it, maybe a little more, and take that little more and put it towards, you know, have just a Lego account, just a Lego bank account. This is the Binging with Babish music. Anybody else a Binging with Babish fan? This is Binging with Babish music. What song is this? Chopin by Blue Wednesday. Babish, you Trixie Bastich. I mean, yeah, and if you find stuff on clearance, great. You know, it may be older stuff, but, you know, if you're not, like, I care that I get stuff soon because I do this, right? And I think people would rather watch something where it's a current or relatively new set versus that's a 3-year-old set, you know? I have that set. Oh, you know, I should have done dark orange first. This big blob of dark orange right in the middle there. Ah, that's too many. Hi, Toaster. How are you? Thanks for coming in. Happy Thursday. So the reason I was thinking of doing it is because if I start, and I mean, I feel like I'm late to the game already because I'm 20 years, 30 years out of the rest of the world in terms of like, well, I held on to this for a little bit. Now it's worth whatever. I don't know. Like, I also have this kind of, not philosophy, but ethical conundrum of not liking it when people sell things for more than they're worth, especially like really soon. Now, if somebody wanted to buy a Voltron in 10 years and they paid $400 for it, I think that would be okay because it was what, 200 originally? No, it was more than that. 250? Anyway, it was a lot. And but at that point you're like, well, it's been out of stock for a very long time. It was retired. Oh, I love when this happens. Nailed it. Look at that. Oh, so good. Oh, well, thank you, Brad. I appreciate that. I will keep that under advisement. Yeah, see, you get a set, and so like it's not like that it's earmarked for anything specific. It's just you have this sort of floating account, and if you decide I want an AT-AT or a Coliseum or a Titanic, and the Lego bank account only has $500 in it, you're like, well, I'm going to kick in another 300 or 400. You just have to know that that's going to happen. But at the same time, that's 500 or 600 that you didn't have to put in anyway, because the sale of stuff has filled that bank account up a little bit. I don't know, stuff it's worth thinking about, and I think it's just a matter of just doing it. But also, like I mentioned last time, I don't really have the head for it, which is probably why I haven't started doing it. But at the same time, I have the desire to do it. So I don't know which is gonna win out in the end. The older I get, the more I realize that I'm... Two things. I know myself really well, and I know that's probably not a thing I'll do. But also, I've developed a little more patience as you get older. So, more patience and more of a, man, I really don't want to spend that much money. But that's the hobby I've chosen. There's always money in the banana stand. How many more do I need? 4. I think the next thing I need to invest is a bunch of little Tupperware tubs for things like this. Because I have like 2 that are like that big, but it would not be useful in this situation. Be good for drafting and sorting, but do not have them currently. So I've got space, and what I can make space. Like I've got a whole front of this room that's just basically a table with minifigs on it. The minifigs can go back into the drawer. I was just kind of trying to sort them to see what Star Wars ones I had. But they can all be dumped back in that drawer. So I've got like a whole front end of this very large dining room. And I can put shelves in it. I can do, whatever. So that I'm not worried about. The very organized part, I am not very organized. Somebody made the quip or observation the other day that I was on the board of several nonprofits or several organizations. And I'm like, you do realize I barely know what I'm doing in any of those. Which is not very confidence inspiring for those in the Texas Lego user group, who I am now the ambassador on. But trust me when I say I don't know what I'm doing there. There's a lot going on in that LAN, and like I'm in it. I've been in it every day. I'm just reading, and I'm like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I'm gonna ask. Yeah, I get drawers too. I mean, I've got my sorting is pretty decent. I have a hodgepodge of sorting right now, and I'm trying to slowly consolidate it. The problem is, it's like a domino effect. It's like I want to really consolidate this one section, like slopes. I really want to nail down slopes, and they could all go in like 3 different Sterilite drawers, right? But in order to do that, I have to empty out a bunch of other Sterilite drawers to get those, or buy new Sterilite drawers. And then I don't have room to put those Sterilite drawers. So then I should get shelving, or I should get those bookshelves with the square things in it to put the drawers in. But then I'd need a place to put that, so I'd have to move these tables, which means I'd have to break all that down, which means I'd have to sort it, which means I'd have to find room to sort all of it, which means I'd have to go for the slopes. And on and on. Forever sorting. So this is going to be a weird blob in the middle here. I'm going to have to count these off and see if I can get these as well. I said this on Mayo's stream the other day, and I posted a link to Will Heron Designs shirt. That's just got a stack of bricks and it says forever sorting. Because we do. Oh, to be able to start over. Yeah. Alright, so 1, 2, 3 up. Well, let's do this. 1, 2 up, 1, 2, 3 over. And then there's 4. Yeah, man, if I could go back to those first couple Lego sets that my parents got me, I'd be like, don't throw away the box. Are you getting me that $5 set? Get 2 of them. Are you going to give me that $20 set? Get 2 of them. Because I had no idea. Just rip, stack, take apart, build again. Nobody ever has any idea about that stuff. Hey, I think we're up on like 3 Russian bots this stream. That's got to be... What's the max that I've had? 5, I think? Guess it's just a matter of viewership. Or time on the stream. Holy crap, it's already 9:20. I guess we'll go till 10. This is taking a lot longer than I thought it would. Of course, the first 20 minutes of the stream were me bloviating about stuff. Alright, Pearl Gold, come here. Oh, what is 9? Dark tan. Let's do our dark tan before we forget. Jerry! It's been a while, Jerry. How are you? I had all my stuff cataloged minus 3 or 4 pieces on Perron until one day I came home with a bunch of new stuff and Perron quit adding new stuff. By the time I found out an alternative, I was woefully behind, and that was before I hooked up with TextLog. Yeah, I keep up with, like, I've been putting all my stuff in Brickset, but I don't know why I do that, because I open it all and I build it. So it's more of a flex to just kind of show what I've got, and every once in a while I'll go, ooh, I'm 10,000th in the world or something in terms of how much stuff I have. I mean, I'm not even in the top 10 of people in my own lug of how much Lego I have. And I've got a lot. Yay, you got your VIP coin. Cool. Which one? Did you get all of them? Your last VIP coin. Did you get all 4 or whatever? I just got the space coin. That's all I wanted. I'm not a VIP coin collector. Speaking of coins, I have these. And I'm trying to, like, I don't want to sell them. But I'm wondering if anybody would trade for them. They're Mario coins. They're not super nice VIP coins, right? But they're still coins. I don't know what the value of these are. Does anybody know what the value of Mario coins are? Unopened, they're still sealed, so. $200 each, there's my at. I have all 5 originally. Lego actually messed up my order. Oh, that sucks. So these were given to us by our Lego store, and I'm technically not allowed to sell them, so I'm not going to try. That's why they've just sat here. But surely somebody would like them, and I could trade for something. But it would be neat to know how much they're worth, so I could trade for something that is worth how much they're worth. And I don't know if they come in, like if there's only 1 or if there's 5, and you have no idea of knowing which ones are which, so it's kind of like, I don't know if it matters if those little pieces of paper are opened or not, you know. I think there were giveaways like a long time ago when Mario was kind of a new thing for Lego, I think. But so, because I'm not into the Mario Lego and I'm not into the Sonic Lego. Silver and gold, that's kind of what I thought. So and there's a gold and a silver one. Cool. And they're worth $1.50. Did we lose music? I hate these tracks that are like, they've got like a minute and a half of outro, and you're like, ugh, gross. Ah. Not fast enough. Well, somebody said they were waiting for me to get on here so they could watch, but I don't see anything. Ooh, 10 to 20. All right. So for 4, I could trade it for, let's see, I'm like adding all this stuff up in my head. A Mac Anthem and a Welcome to Apocalypseburg, both opened and built. No box, but instructions. A boxed Darth Vader bust from Target, and then 4 Mario coins. That and about $200 should get me a UCS AT-AT. Do you collect any rare Star Wars figures, like 3 1/4 inch figures? No. That is another thing where I didn't have the foresight to tell my parents, hey, I'm not opening this wonderful Christmas present because I foresee these being worth dozens of dollars someday. So thank you, dear parents, but I will not be opening this to play with it. I will, however, open this package of socks because socks are practical. I wasn't that kid. I couldn't get stuff open fast enough. Like I was tearing through. I wasn't even opening boxes nicely. I was just tearing into them. So much so that I would ruin like the stat cards on the back of the Transformer boxes, and I would be all mad at myself because I'm like, well, I don't know what Beachcomber does now. I ripped into his card. That's one thing. If I like, you get those thought pieces or whatever where you're like, if you could go back and do it all over again, what would you do? Oh, minifigs. I would be like, I would not open all my toys, or I would try to get a couple versions of each toy so I could, you know, put a couple away and I don't know what with, you know, not retire or anything, but do I collect rare Star Wars minifigures? No, not really. I've got a couple that are kind of rare. I think the rarest one I've got is, or I wouldn't even say the most rare. I only need 2. Come on, just 2. I only say rare because I don't think they're rare. They're just expensive. And I don't know if that's a rarity thing or what, but I'm assuming that's what that is. All right, 1 second. Let me do this, and then we'll go back on topic. I need 3 of these. Oh, yeah. I'm the same way. I was just like, new thing, open. Gotta open it. It's a thing that needs to be played with. I follow a TikToker who used to work at LEGO. And I don't know what capacity he used to work at LEGO. But he's telling stories of his time at LEGO. And a lot of it is him very much not liking like the secondary market kind of thing, and He's like, Lego is meant to be played with. Open it up and play with it, kind of thing. So, all right. I think we'll probably do one more, and then that might be it. I'm trying to think of like the rarest figures I've got. So I've got all, let's see, to start, I've got, and I don't know, like I don't keep real good track of the minifigures that I've got because I just get the sets. I take the sets, I build them, I take the sets apart, the figures go in a drawer, right? However, I have bought the T6 shuttle with Shock T, and that is the most, I think that is the only set that Shock T comes in. So she's a rare figure. I specifically just bought a Lando from Solo with the yellow shirt for the microfighter of the Kessel Run Falcon or the Lando Falcon, whatever the white and blue one. So I've got that. I don't know if any of the clones I have are worth anything. I don't know if any of the the Boba Fett's I have are worth anything. And the problem I ran into is I have children, and at some point I let them play with all my Lego. I'm like, look, if it doesn't leave the house, you can do whatever you want with it. And they would just go in and, go through all the stuff and play, mostly with the figures. And they would take figures apart. So they would take off hands and take off arms and take off heads. So whatever I was left with. So I've been trying to go through and kind of piece them all back together. Like, oh, this is a whatever version clone, or this is a whatever version stormtrooper. But I have no idea. Like, half the Darth Vaders that I have, I don't know if they're worth anything. Who knows? I thought I had a pretty old Boba Fett from I don't know where, like the first iteration of the Slave One. Who knows? It's not gold. That's all I know. I don't have a gold C-3PO anywhere. So I do stay on the lookout for them because there are going to be points where I want a figure specifically for a ship or for a design, and it may just be that there's only one. There's not like several versions of it, and I will want to get that. But it's if a figure is more than $20, I'm like, that's a rare figure. I was gonna say something else about that. Oh, so I've got a custom figure. I don't know who this is. It's a Big Kid Bricks figure, and I got it off Bantha Bricks. I won it off their Facebook group. And it's a custom, Sith something. It's got black, red eyes or whatever. So, I don't know who he is. He's got a name, but it's like a handmade helmet. And I think that's a printed shirt and legs. So, I mean, I've got that. That's not really rare or anything. And then I got, to go with my Enterprise, there's a handmade or a custom Kirk, which the original listing had him with dark gray hands. And I'm like, so I messaged the seller. I'm like, why does he have dark gray hands? And they're like, those are the ones we had when we took the picture. I'm like, could you put some flesh colored hands on there? These aren't really rare because you can get them custom made. That's not really rare. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I've got any other ones. Yeah, I can't think of anything. The Knights of Ren maybe all together are probably worth something because you have to spend $400 to get all the sets that have them all. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just looking at, because the microfighters have turned into this is a way to display rare figures. I have a Bastille Sean. I think she only came in one set. Is it Bastille Sean or Satie Sean? There's two. There's one with like that blue, like the teal or turquoise jumper, and then there's one that's like an orange jumper. I forget which is which. One's a descendant of the other one. That's all I know. That's all I remember from that game. I'm sure you have some rare Jedi or clones. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, I've got a plate of them. I just haven't gone through them all. You know, if they were rare, they would have to have existed in a set that I bought. So I didn't hunt them down specifically. Well, then there's another one. Like, I don't know if I have to get her specifically. There's the other one. Oh, I got Wolf Yularen. He's kind of rare. I put him on a TIE shuttle. Because I needed somebody to put on a TIE shuttle. I'm like, I've got this great little ship. Who do I put on it? A faceless Imperial officer. I'm like, nah, I'm going to put Wolf Yularen on here. And everyone's going to go, who? I'll say, that dude. He was in Clone Wars. And before you say he was a narrator in Clone Wars, I thought I heard somewhere that the narrator was supposed to be a different character. It's just the same voice actor. So Satil Shan came in that Republic Strike Fighter set. It was one of the very few like Knights of the Old Republic sets that they did. It was that and the Jedi Consular ship with that white Jedi Consular, which is another figure that I want to get. That's pretty expensive. All right, so this does take a little concentration. Just a little. 4. Yeah, I need like Darth Malgus, and I need a Ravan, and I need a Malik, and a Jarek. I don't think they make a Jarek, but they make a Malik and a Malgus. Malgus I needed for like the Sith Infiltrator or something. Anything where it's like a Knights of the Old Republic figure, I probably need it. But then there's a lot of other stuff that's like Rico Card or whatever his name is. Talon Card, I think, for the wild card. They don't make him. They don't make like Kyle Katarn at all. Let's see. That was 3, and then 4, and then 1, 2, 3, and then 1 and 1. I wish they did, but that would mean they would have to make more video game sets. Two, and then 2, and then 1, and then 2, and then skip 1, and then there's 2. Yeah, those would be the expensive ones. Speaking of rare figures, I got, where is it? I got me a purple torso. So now all I need is a $30 purple motorcycle helmet. Somebody asked, they're like, couldn't you get the figure for $30? I'm like, I think the figure's $40, honestly. And it's not even like I think it's just an Ninjago figure. Yeah, man, to get that Ravan, oh, that would be so great. And I would feel bad because I would build a microfighter of the Ebon Hawk to put him in, and then I would feel bad because that's the display that I've chosen to, you know, he's not in a nice case. He's sitting in a ship. And I joke that that's what I build microfighters for, so I can display rare figures, and I don't even have that many rare figures. But 4 and then 4 again. So I have a question about these mosaics. Can't you get software that basically does this for you? Can't you just get a picture of anything you want and then say, I want this in a 196 by 196 grid, and I want it to have 9 colors, and doesn't it do it for you? So what's stopping like anyone from doing this? When these first came out, I'm like, yeah, there's software that can do that for you. Why am I paying? You know, you're basically paying for bags of dots or bags of studs. And I'm not trying to dig on the designers. I'm just saying they had like 2-3 pages about the designers, and I'm like, did you credit the software you used? Do you have a T6 microfighter for Shock T? I do. Do you want to see it? So yeah, these are my rare figures. There's my and it does rotate. So that's cool. Worked really hard on figuring out how to get that to rotate. And this is the other one, the player Lando on Kessel. That's supposed to be Kessel down there. This piece right here was almost as expensive as the figure. The little droid head. It's a lot more expensive than I thought it would be, but totally worth it because it looks like the front of the Falcon in white. So that worked out. And I still have the T6 because it's still one of my favorite ships. I think it's very Star Warsy. It just looks really cool. Let's see. You don't even need, it doesn't need to be Lego related, the software. You can just, there's just mosaic. Like there was a thing on, I did it for a picture that I put up on Flickr, and it was just like a bunch of different pieces of art that a bunch of cartoonists and I had done, and I made it into a picture of John Hodgman. You know, I just said, take all these pictures from this folder, use whatever you need to, and turn it into this other picture. It can be done. Like, it's not, I don't know. I'm not trying to be disparaging. I'm just like, I mean, I could have had a Lego set. If I'd have just done, this is Yoda, made up with all the different pieces. So I don't know what's so special about it in this case. Oh, whoops. I probably should finish that row. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2. Yeah, and Studio can do it too. I think there's just a function that says mosaic. Give me a picture. How wide do you want it to be? How many colors do you want it to be? Now, granted, I think stuff like this came out before Studio had that function because I think it's relatively new. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 2, and then 1, 2, 3. 2. I feel like the human... Yay, bot 4. Bot 4, bot 4, bot 4. I feel like a human a dot matrix printer. I'm just like... Zerp, 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 zerp. Okay, so that row's done. So that's 1. And then 2. I should have Beth do this. I bet she'd like this. It's very, don't have to think about it. Just follow the numbers. She could have done it, but she had to not feel well. That's her fault. Distracted on your end. What are you doing, Kodiak? Working? Video editing? Cleaning? Making dinner? Bye, Brad. Thanks for being here. Enjoy your evening. Hopefully see you Sunday. I'll go check out your reels when I'm done. Boy, these would be great time lapse. I'm sure somebody's done that, but now that I think about it, it's probably really neat to do time lapse stuff. Do you have a Phase 2 clone, Ben? I believe he was from a microfighter. Oh, probably. I mean, I have all the store-bought microfighters. So, except for... Did it come on the turbo tank? Because if it came on the turbo tank, I had to buy that. I had to buy the parts for that one. Because I missed out. I got into the microfighters late, so by then some of them were already retired, which is funny to think about, like retired microfighters. I'm like, oh, they're so cute. They don't retire. Or something small and insignificant as like a microfighter being important enough to retire, I should say. But let's see. The LAT came with with one. I don't remember if it was a pilot or not. I think that was it. I'm trying to think of any other ships that came with that. It was the turbo tank, the LAT. And I think that's all they did. Oh, whoops. That's not right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2. Something's not right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, that got messed up all to hell. 5. So I need 2 more. Yeah, so the turbo tank, I don't know that I got the right one then, because I had to rebuild it. So that may be an iffy thing. I can see if I can find it real quick. My box of microfighters here. They're all just in a bag. because the ARC 190 is the clone pilot, or ARC 170. I didn't put it over there. Tie. Oh, that one's busted to shit. That is the AT-AT. That is the LAT. LAT is another phase 1 pilot. Okay, so there's the clone tank. I don't think I have the right clone for it. So let's look. Clone, turbo, oh wait, just turbo tank. Micro fighter. Yeah, I don't have the right one. I just slapped one on here that I had. So he's a different. He's kind of. I think he's not rare, but he's not a super well known one. He's like an. He's not an ARF trooper, but he's. I think he comes with one of the. One of the walkers. I forget which one. But let's go see. I may have. What time is it? I got 10 minutes. So here's my plate. It has all my figures on it. Take the last couple minutes and look at the clones. So those are the clones. And I've got a handful more. So my problem is a lot of these got taken apart as well. So I have all these extras, right? So phase 2 is not these helmets. Phase 2 is the ones that look more like stormtroopers. They don't have the fin on top. They look like... Yeah, all these are phase 1. And I've got this really weird helmet that I got. So there's these helmets too that are like, they've got the eye slits in them. You can see the eye slit. They don't line up with these heads. So I don't know what they line up with. And I think they might supposed to be lined up with like black heads underneath there. These aren't clone troopers. I think these are old, they might be clone troopers, but I think they're old, like old Republic troopers. They just happen to look kind of clone-ish. ARF trooper, I took his hands off. I forget why I took his hands off. There's this helmet, and it's not Lego, but it's the same size as a Lego helmet. And I don't know what it's from, but it's like rubber. Like I don't know where that's from. Isn't that weird? So anyway, but yeah, there's, and then each of them are like, they've got, most of them are the Clone Wars eyes. There's some, like this is a newer one. But the ones that I have here are all phase 1, and then there's some and these are from the 501st battle pack. These are all the 501st clones, so these are phase 2 clones. These are the in-between, almost a stormtrooper head, right? That's the transition piece. I got a lot of stormtroopers. I don't have an army, but I've got, you know, whatever. So then I've got a lot of these guys, these recon guys. I don't know why I have so many of those. So yeah, there's that. I have a Coleman Trevor. I don't know what that is. And some of these are kind of the old style heads and whatnot. Han Solo, old hair. Some of them are really old. They still have yellow. I think this guy came with like a B-wing or an A-wing or something. He was just a mechanic. So there's some older figures in here. Oh, what is that guy? He's missing something. Got a ton of these. Senate guards, and then a lot of these Mandalorian guys, just random Mandalorians before the Mandalorian was a show. And then after the Mandalorian was a show, obviously, then there's more Mandalorians. Only 2 Resistance figures. I got the Kaz and the Griff Halloran. Yeah, but yeah, there's some stuff in here. So anyway. And now I have to put all these back. All you guys go in here. All you guys go in here. All you guys go in here. And you guys can go back later. Oh, 5 bots. We have 5 bots. I hope this works. So a majority of my figures end up in microfighters. Yeah, I made sure to get 2 battle packs of Iden Versio, so I could get an the cheat is that the battle pack, she doesn't come with a helmet. She just comes with hair. So in order to have the whole Inferno squad as a helmeted team, you need to get 2 battle packs. So I've got an extra Iden Versio with 2 hairs. And then the other one is sitting on a Corvus microfighter, I think. So yeah, this is a cheat. It's Iden Versio and a Corvus microfighter. And this is Vardoz, whatever the Imperial training ground is from Battlefront. Got some statues of stormtroopers there. Yeah, so I have an extra Iden Versio. Yep. Extra Iden Versio. It's her weird nougat skin, even though that doesn't match anything that was in the game. That has to be worth dozens of dollars. Maybe even a dozen. A full dozen dollars. Alright, I'm going to get through the black and then I think I'm going to call it. So this is all black down to there. And that's all black. And this is black. And that's it. Okay. Just so happens I don't have an Iden Versio. Interesting. Looks like we're gonna have to make some kind of deal. You got a UCS AT-AT floating around over there? I will trade you. You got a Darth Revan or a Malgus? Oh, what was the one I was looking for recently? A tactical droid. I'm also looking for a tactical droid. Those are kind of pricey. 6? Did we just get 6 Russian bots in here today? Well, boy, howdy. You know what? I would get you 2. I would throw in my Corvus microfighter for a UCS AT-AT. The Corvus microfighter is basically the original Sith infiltrator, or the Darth Maul's. Oh, well, that doesn't do any good either because the original Darth Maul Sith infiltrator microfighter was not a microfighter. It was a prototype, like micro ship or mini ship or something. It was a San Diego exclusive. That I basically was like, I want that ship, and so I just parted it out and built it myself. I don't even know where it is now because LEGO came out with their own. But you have a tactical droid. Well, there you go. This could be beginning of a beautiful trade ship. I need a tactical droid for the recusant class ship. Yeah, recusant class CIS ship. But they're like 20-30 bucks. They're pretty expensive. I don't think it. Look it up. See if the prices are equitable and we can do a trade. That would be awesome. Because I don't need a second Iden Versio. I just got it for the helmets. I'm not a minifigure like. Obviously, you saw they just all sit on a base plate until I'm ready to use them for something. Which means I got a lot of duplicates and a lot of things that I cannibalize to get hands and torsos. I went for the longest time thinking I had Princess Leia something. Like it looked like it had a belt and a short. Like I was like, I don't remember Princess Leia wearing a short like mini skirt. What is this? And it turns out it was Luke in his underwear for the back to tank. But I'm like, that's Princess Leia. It's got the silver belt and it's white. And I'm like, what is this? Oh, it was so dumb. All right, so. Ooh, how much for Iden Versio? I don't think $57. Really don't think for $57. Which is why I haven't got a tactical droid yet. All right, so we are a third of the way done with this. So I can hold off on this until I need another filler episode. We can work on this a little more. Because it's not going anywhere. I don't know what I'm going to do with all these bags, but... Oh, it's saying I already put it together. Well, what a great way to... Oh, I didn't finish this, though. Yeah, I'll do it later. Okay. Because it's already late. I want to go watch some Star Trek. $7! So we'd need 8 Iden Versios for a tactical droid. Yeah. So that's what I thought. I didn't think Iden Versio was that big a deal. Anything that comes in a battle pack, not going to be, like, super expensive. All right, kids and kittens, thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate it. Beth and I should be back on Sunday doing the Brickheadz. Thanks to everybody who was in the chat tonight, especially those of you on Twitch. I really appreciate that. And thanks to Pretzel Rocks with all the musicians. Hopefully you got to see all their names go by in the chat. Give them all a listen. Hopefully also we'll be getting back into our podcast soon. So in the next couple weeks, keep an eye on Here We Come, a Ready or Not podcast. We'll be releasing new episodes of that hopefully in a couple weeks. And that should be it. So have a good night, have a good week, have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.